After I started growing vegetables, I suddenly felt that I've got many hungry mouths, hungry roots to feed. Well, I've always felt bad about throwing away food, so why not feed them to the veggies? And that means I have to try my hand at composting. The 1,000-mile journey of composting starts with the first step, and the first step is this large bowl on my kitchen counter to collect waste. I don't want to go out to the balcony just to throw away the peels every time I'm eating an apple. If I'm going to do the hard thing, I want to make it easy. I sometimes sprinkle bokashi to the waste. The microbes in bokashi will ferment the waste, so it smells more like vinegar or wine instead of rotten or putrefying garbage. Most of the time, I actually don't smell anything. For the composting, I use 10-gallon potato bags. These bags are excellent for aeration. If the compost gets lots of oxygen, it will make carbon dioxide. If not, it will make something far less pleasant. Besides kitchen waste, I also add shredded paper bags if I've got too many of them. I toss in peanut shells or the likes. At first, I tried or made attempts to control carbon to nitrogen ratio like the experts do, but soon realized that the best ratio is whatever I have. Like I said, I've got to make it easy. I also add what I call used soil. This is soil that has been used to grow vegetables, so the nutrients have been pretty much depleted, and it may harbor undesirable insect eggs, spores, that kinds of things. One of the benefits from adding used soil to the compost is that the used soil has lots of bacteria that can help to kickstart the composting process. Another benefit is the regeneration of the soil itself. I'm not sure whether insect eggs and spores can survive the moderate heat in the compost. I know that powdery mildew, for example, doesn't like it too warm. So there's hope. I usually cover the compost bag loosely with a big plastic bag like this one. The plastic bag helps to keep in the heat and moisture and keep out critters. Well, that's the idea anyway. I add new batch of food waste to the compost bag every 2 to 3 days. When the volume reaches a certain point, maybe one third of the 10-gallon bag, the compost magically heats up, and then the temperature easily reaches 100 degrees Fahrenheit and beyond, even in winter, when the ambient temperature is in the 40s or 50s. Now, 100 degrees is a bad fever for human, but an active temperature for the compost. That means the heat-loving bacteria are hard at work. At these temperatures, the compost becomes pretty steamy too. Don't worry, it's not stinky if you do it right. Like aerating the compost. Here I use what I call the churning method. Churning for black gold. More about that in future videos. I've set aside a storage space for the compost bags. I typically fill up one bag in less than 2 months, since it takes 4 to 6 months for the composting to finish. I usually have 3 bags going at once, each at a different stage of the process, kind of like a composting pipeline. Here are 3 bags in a lineup. The one on the left is still cooking, so to speak. The one in the middle is cooling off, with the temperature below 80 degrees Fahrenheit at this point. I can still see traces of orange peels in there. The one on the right is the finished product. Most of the materials have been turned into rich, fine soil. This is the black gold that me and my hungry plants have been waiting for. And here are 2 happy zucchini plants growing in soil that has been amended with lots of compost. They are healthy monsters, aren't they? I'm very happy to report that I'm now collecting blossoms and fruits from these guys. So, it's possible to compost food waste on the balcony. I now have a whole new perspective on food waste. Before, a bad apple is just unhappiness. Now, a bad apple is great fertilizer. It will be expensive fertilizer, I know, but at least it's not going into garbage. Okay, there are issues. In future videos, I will talk more about space issue, the ventilation issue, or other things I'll think of. I will say more about the kinds of food waste you can compost. Yes, meat can be composted too if you're careful. I will tell you how I deal with insect problems, or otherwise, learn to be zen about it. Hmm. I can talk more about the tools I use. It will be fun. Stay tuned.